So a while ago, I was at this reclaimed art supply store. It's a place that takes a bunch of donated scrap stuff and sells it as a potential arts and craft supply. And they had a bin of these nice thin sheets of wood veneer that I thought I might try painting on. And I was looking online to see how one would go about doing that. Just because when I started prepping one of the smaller pieces, it warped quite a bit when I added some like watercolor ground or whatever it was to it. And so I thought, yeah, this is, a wood product, it's very absorbent, and I didn't really consider how adding wet media to it would affect the outcome. And I went online to see a good way to work with this, and I think a lot of people use veneer in art as a collage material. You cut out shapes with it and then glue it into your art and whatever. Not a whole lot of information I could find about using it as a substrate, so I'm sort of just playing it by ear, and I'm just trying it on this ATC shaped little piece. Anyway, I didn't want to handle it too much because this veneer does break very easily. I actually broke the large piece while I was still in the store because I bumped it against something, and it will crack along the grain if you're not too careful. So I really just kind of went with it with this acrylic gouache. And so yeah, right away it did buckle quite a bit. It reacted very much like a cheap piece of watercolor paper. So when I get about to the end of my little tiny painting here, I use this trick that I saw other people doing in college, which was to flip it over and paint an X from corner to corner on the back. It should create more of a balance on each side so that both sides are expanding, hopefully equally enough to flatten it back down a bit. And you know what? Honestly, in the end, it's pretty flat. It's not as flat as it was when I started, but it's not buckling like that other piece. It's not like it's got a slight curve to it in the moment that will probably flatten out later. So I'm pretty satisfied with it. I'm still kind of nervous about painting the much bigger piece because I don't know if something equally or worse will happen with it. I think it would be much harder to control on a bigger piece than it is on the little piece, because the little piece is going to have a good portion of it painted on, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the big piece. So yeah, if you've worked with veneer in this kind of way, I would love to hear your tips and tricks for this, because I'm not finding a whole lot of information online yet. And thanks for watching.